That's right. Oh, great.
Oh, it was. I just need to turn it off. I'll do it. I'll turn the oven off. It was to celebrate her life. We chose it. We chose it at our house because we wanted an intimate gathering where we could have fellowship and just hear all the stories about how she affected you in such positive ways and laugh amongst each other. So today is we're not going to be sad. That grief happened back in January, and going through the photos, it just brings happy memories of all the great things she accomplished, all the wonderful people she touched their lives, and so I can't thank you enough for sharing that with all of us. And so, yeah, it was very deliberate to have it at the house, not a funeral home, because we're not going to focus on the passing, but really remembering, because she still lives around us, amongst us, just not in that physical form. So I have Sherry has volunteered to help me. She's so gracious. She actually married Justin and myself. And then she's here for the next big milestone, kind of ushering out that parent and helping me facilitate, because I'll be honest, I'd probably stumble through it. So thank you. Without further ado, I'll have you come up here.
You are too kind. And remember the green folder?
Yeah.
When I did their wedding, I was holding a green folder because I forgot the leather book that looks really nice. And we have a friend, Cindi and I, a dear friend, who kept saying, oh my God, that looks terrible. It'll be terrible in all the pictures. So here I am again with the green folder just to start. And Cindy's laughing. I hear that. And Susan's right. I was talking to Ann this morning and she said, well, when you do celebrations of life, and I thought, I've never done one. I've done lots of baby blessings and lots of wonderful weddings. Yours is the best. But I have never done a celebration of life. And I'm kind of glad in my 20 years to have put it off till now. Because I think this is a lovely evolution, because what died was her body. It was worn out. It's a suit of clothes that she didn't need anymore. She didn't die. None of you are going to die. And that's really important. That's what we're here to celebrate. Her spirit goes on. That energy can't be destroyed. That energy, my God. The whirlwind that was Cindi Raglin. Happy birthday, Cindi. So I think that's the most important thing I want you to take away from today. I don't want to preach to you, but I think finally we're figuring it out. Energy medicine is coming into its own, as it should. We can destroy tumors with box, fifth. So we're learning energy can't be destroyed, and everything is energy. And so that wonderful body that all of us have little ashes of Cindi that we're going to take to some of her favorite places, how appropriate, how wonderful. I hope somebody, well, my husband has a really long list of where I want to be scattered. But that's it. It's a joyful day. It's a wonderful day. And I thought, I wrote, there's about 7 pages of torn up stuff and notes, and as Ann said, just speak from your heart. I love Cindi Raglin. She was not an easy person to love, and every one of you knows that. It was hard for her to love herself, but what an amazing person she was. So much, the energy of 50 people. And I think she could never sit down. The restless leg was, but I don't know. I mean, she was always bum, bum, bum. And she always made, any time we got together, an occasion. And I want to point out that many of us are wearing her jewelry and her jackets, because this woman was colorful. She was so alive and made it fun. It was always cut flowers and special wine and special hors d'oeuvres, and we got to go to TJ Maxx and Whole Foods, and she did it right. She enjoyed it fully. But I always felt that, and I knew her the best. I like to say that all of us Army brats, and if you're an Army brat or a military brat, you don't understand that upbringing, but it's such a close community. And Cindi Alix and Peggy and I, when we were all together for the wedding, went to General George S. Patton Junior High School in Leavenworth, Kansas, at the same time. And we may not have known each other then, but certainly I knew Cindi from her moving to Virginia Beach. In fact, I helped her discover Virginia Beach. And I think she was looking for belonging and purpose. And she was a wonderful NICU nurse. Those babies were fortunate to have her. But more than that was Operation Smile. That was her purpose in life. And it blows me away. And there are so many people here representing that rich part of her life. And in fact, later on, I'm not sure when, I have each one of you has a quote from Cindi about smiles that we will all read. Just to celebrate her, all those bookmarks and t-shirts and all those wonderful things. But I think we all have to find a higher purpose, and I'm grateful for her that she did. And she served that purpose well. And Virginia Beach was the best of times and the worst of times for her. And in speaking about this, you hear, don't speak ill of the dead. I'm not speaking ill of the dead when I'm saying Cindi was difficult to love at times. It's just honest. And I think what she's doing now is working on all of these amazing experiences and relationships and learning from them. So you can help her by speaking honestly to her, because she's here right now. And tell her, bring out the best of that experience, whether it was good or it was painful. Be honest with her and with yourself, because that's a gift, and that's what you can do. It doesn't end here. None of this ends here. We're all going to see each other again. So let's make it the best greeting, the best meeting that we possibly can. And it helps heal you, too. If there's leftover business, and there always is, because, there always is. You think, well, this isn't the time to bring it up. Well, you'll know when it's the time, and I want you to do it, because that will be the best birthday gift that you can give her. And that's all. God bless you, Cindi. And so I think what I will do is give you your smile quotes. Boop. And then all of you can participate in this too. I was going to, let it flows. Peace begins with a smile.
If you live well, your smile lines are all in the right places.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it's happy. Right off the shoot.
There you go.
I hope people smile when they hear my name. A stick and a smile will get you through life. And in 99 cases out of 100, the smile does the trick.
There you go.
A smile can heal invisible wounds.
That's true.
Keep smiling. It makes people wonder what you're up to. Worked for me in my career.
I wondered who was going to get that one.
Nothing you wear is more important than your smile, although she was always dressed impeccably.
It's true. And that smile was so memorable, yes.
Imagine living your life so fully that others remember your smile long after they've forgotten your name.
There you go. Did you get one? Good.
A smile is a universal language.
The heart that gives thanks never runs out of reasons to smile.
Of course, I just smiles to nature. And Cindi wasn't very colorful.
Yes, she was.
We never know all the good that a smile can do. A person with a stiff upper lip can't smile.
Happiness comes from helping others, even if all you do is smile. And we need to tell stories too.
That's true. That's true.
With Renata here, this one really registered with me. I used to go to the hospital occasionally and meet Cindi there, and we'd walk through. And she was always happy, and everybody would seem to be happy in the unit. And so we're walking through the NICU, with all the babies. And for people who haven't been there, it's an uncomfortable feeling because you've got all these little babies that are, you know, this big, and all of a sudden this alarm goes off over here, and I'm going, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And Cindi looks at me and goes, "That's George. He does that all the time." and we just walked them right on. But isn't somebody going to go over there? Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's that confidence of understanding the job and everything you're doing.
Yeah.
And most of us here don't have that experience and exposure. And it's a very difficult job. And so to be happiness and smiling all the time,
Yep.
really significant.
You betcha. You betcha.
Beautiful story.
Yes.
Mine is smiles are free, healthy, and contagious. And her smile, she could be hurting and in not the best of places, but she always found a moment to smile and to laugh.
Yep. She did. She
Always.
did. Yep.
Oh, Rowan, do you want to read yours? Where's your piece of paper? You don't know. Did it disappear? Here. Here. All right, you want to do this one? Your smile makes life more beautiful. Can you say that? Your smile makes life more beautiful. Like you.
I thought that was a good one for her.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
If you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait for it. Life is short. Smile while you still have teeth.
All the statistics in the world can't measure a smile.
That's right.
And I think this is a smile attracts the angels. Cindy was an angel.
Yeah. She
She
was.
expressed herself in the way she lived, in the way she dressed. And today it's so beautiful to be here together. And I just want to thank Susan and family for welcoming us here. We're surrounded by color. You look around the beautiful flowers. I'm here looking at the nest and the beautiful birds and hearing the sounds. And it just seems soothing and appropriate. Cindi lived life in her own terms. The first time I met Cindi was probably back in 1997. She was in a place called Iligan in the Philippines. And that place was a little dire, it was a little dangerous. And somehow Cindi and others decided that in spite of the security recommendations, they will go jog in the morning around Iligan. And as I traveled from side to side as a coordinator, I showed up and I heard this story, and the first thing I had to say was, "Cindi, what are you doing?" This will be a common theme throughout our years. Some other memories I have will be we'll be working really early in the morning, and she will come to review all the files of all the nurses because she cares so much about safety. She wanted to make sure that the nurses were really highly skilled and qualified. But then we learned that she had been on a shift the whole night to only then put 4, 5, 6 more hours. And I had no idea how that was humanly possible. And I kept saying, "Cindi, what are you doing?" her long trips to TJ Maxx.
We went yesterday.
Yes, very much sure of it too, in memory.
So long trips to TJ Maxx, and she'll come back with all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "Cindi, what are you doing?" And I have to believe that at some point when she realized that she didn't have a place for all this stuff, she'll go back to TJ Maxx to customer service returns, and the people were like, "Oh my gosh, Cindi, what are you doing?" What a privilege to work with her over the years, and she will continue her quest to make sure that our volunteers were really, really good and had the ability to get trained and help us put together the teams that will go to different parts of the world to take care of children, and she will do that sometimes on her weekends. And I remember one morning walking into the office, and she was with a few other coordinators. At that point, I had a different role of supervising And I walk in there, and they're working Saturday morning, but it was a Saturday morning, so she had prepared some Bloody Marys. It's a nightmare for a supervisor to walk into that. So I had to say, Cindi, what are you doing? Just kind of walk around, leave like I didn't know what was happening. And at some point, as you see her car, she loved that little Beamer that she would zoom around, and her license plate will read Ascend. Sort of a reflection of her spirit of wanting to do more and do better every time. But at some point, as she was having some trouble getting in and out, we had to say, Cindi, what are you doing?
That's the third phrase from this weekend.
But for all the times we asked us that question, there were so many other moments, and we saw her shine. She loved showing the pictures of her Bangladesh trip when she was at the Navy ship, also with Operation Smile, and taking children in and out, and you have the big goggles, and they were doing things that were amazing in a really difficult setting. But that sense of service repeats itself over the world, all over the world, in so many of the trips that she took, but also so many people she enabled and supported and loved and encouraged over the year. I was
You can do it.
I was a beneficiary of that love. One of many. The day I graduated from medical school, she was there. But you have these memories that kind of come back to you. Some of them funnier than others. We shared a lot. We had this little office, and we showed 3 people sort of in there, so we got to know each other quite well. There were moments of wonderful fellowship and conversation in front of the fire at that Harborview apartment, loving by the water. You see people who are willing to go the extra mile for others. Some of you know my wife is originally from Mexico. When she moved to the United States, she didn't speak a word of English. Actually, the only thing she could say was, "Hello, my name is Karina." Today, she's a thriving psychiatrist, having learned the language, studied on her boards and her residency. And she always complains that I'm traveling a little too much. But when I said, "Sweetie, you have to go to this because we're celebrating Cindi," she says, "Please, you go." And take my gratitude with her, because I remember, and I do too, that when I had no one to speak to, Cindi somehow found a way to communicate with me and show love. So there's a common theme of this indomitable spirit who lived large and loved, and there were so many things she wanted to do, and maybe one of them that she didn't get to was the Kilimanjaro, climb Kilimanjaro. But we'll get to that point. But there's so many others that she did. I think people would love to have half of the achievements she had in life. When she retired from Operation Smile, she was surrounded by people who loved her, but she was even thrilled because of the company. And I think at that point, Susan, you were with your little one on the way, first one on the way. You went, "I'm almost done. I wish I had so much more, but I do have a couple of things." So Cindi gave away whatever she could. So she was famous for having these carabiners that had Operation Smile, because we had to stick together. So if you had one of those, you could make a chain. But also a whole bunch of pins and bookmarks, as you saw. But I do have 2 things, because she loved children around the world, but most of all, she loved her 2 children beyond measure. And so I have a little Operation Smile pin for you, Michael, because I'm sure you haven't seen any of them.
Thank you.
And Susan, for you, I have another one that to me has a lot of meaning. I've spent some time in Rwanda in the past few years, and I've been marveled by how a country that has so much sadness turned around to be such a thriving country. But they have this concept. If you go to the Genocide Museum called Ubuntu, and it's a pin of Ubuntu that symbolizes humanity. humanity and kindness and love and respect. So I want to give this one to you as well, because Cindi exemplified all of those things. And the last thing I'll say is, she didn't get to go to Kilimanjaro, but she climbed all her way to the top of our lives. And as she made the eternal joy, eternal journey into eternity, she went higher than anybody else. And I have to believe that our Creator is now, from time to time, telling her, Cindi, what are you doing? I love you, Cindi.
Yes.
Well, I can say one thing about Cindi. She gave me my first beer. And my sister Cheryl ratted on me.
I was the oldest.
No wonder you can be so straightforward. And specifically, for me, it was terrific. You got so much activity, you spend time with, and getting tortured. Loving torture.
Loving torture.
Torture. You plan ahead, you do activity. This is what we're doing. And what you do, you actually enjoy doing it.
All right. Are you going to give us a countdown?
I will. Does anyone want a second one? There's a couple left.
We should probably share one for Paul. He's watching Netflix on He's bored by all the old humans.
Are we all going at the same time, or you're going first, then we're going?
We're all going to go at the same
Okay.
time.
You have to explain old humans.
Oh, I will.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Ready for?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. No, Scout. No. Oh, there they go. No, Scout. There they go.
Oh, I have to
There
take
it
off.
goes. There
There
it
we
goes.
go.
Oh, there they go. There they go.
Oh, yes.
Look at that. We were getting so dope. Oh, wow. How beautiful. Oh, on her finger. Oh, it's on you. Oh, it's in your dress.
Ah, there you go.
There it is. Oh, there he goes. Look, they're over there. Oh, yeah.
That's right. Oh, great.
Oh, it was, I just need to turn it off.
I'll do it. I'll turn the oven
It was to remind us to do. Really Do you? Oh, yeah.
Displayed every week were quite spectacular feature and very feminine. A very colorful and vibrant person she was. But her love for all these things was also an expression of her love for people and peoples, and a generosity extended to everyone, mostly all those she didn't know personally.
Raglin, there's another one right there. See it?
She genuinely loved the children of her inspired work.
Right here.
She showed empathy. She genuinely loved
That's right. Ron, right here. See him? Run. There he goes. Scout.
Her past performance and profession as immunologist had taught her the importance of vigilance. Immunology
And so many of our memories of Cindi, I don't go back quite as far as Ruben, but almost. Everybody knows the qualities that we love so dearly. And yesterday, Sherry and I did make a visit to TJ Maxx, just as a special honor of Cindi and who she was with TJ Maxx. And the people at the checkout in TJ Maxx knew her by name. I can say that. Yeah. But we all know that Cindi was a giving person and just loved life large. And one of the things that she always did was she had this magical miracle of always being a winner. So she loved lottery.
So, in her memory, 20 scratchers here. 20 scratchers. And Cindy, someone's going to win today because you always won. I don't know how you did it. So I'm going to lay them on the table. Please find a coin, pick up a scratcher, and there's going to be a winner in the group here today. I'm for sure.
Great idea.
Family. I first met her in 1988 in New Mexico in the newborn ICU. She was the head nurse and I was a brand new doctor. Then I eventually became medical director and division chief. So we worked together every day, fighting hospital administration. It was a great NICU. We made a lot of money for the hospital, so we always had to fight to keep everything. I knew she was my soulmate. When we were working together and we'd have a bad day, we would go clothes shopping. We would sneak out. That was her pre-TJ Maxx days. We went for the good stuff then. And then another thing we did that we hardly told anybody was we would sneak out and go to the movies in the afternoon if we were really frustrated or having a rough day. So we just supported each other. I want to say that Michael and Susan were her life. I have so many pictures of both of you that she was constantly sending me. I think I know every professional achievement that Susan made. But you know, you were just both so special to her, and she loved you. And you know, I remember visiting her in Virginia Beach, and she picked me up in that BMW, and she just loved it. We were just tooling around, and I thought, wow, this is a nice life she's got. I was so happy she found Operation Smile. It really gave her purpose and meaning again. You all meant so much to her, because you know, again, I've known her for a long, long, long time, and just seeing how much she did in Operation Smile. Again, she did so much more before all of that in the NICU at UNM, running that big unit and taking care of all those babies and being kind to everybody, and you know, always a smile. So, you know, I was so sad to hear that she was sick, and then when she passed, but I said to my husband, we have to come, because, you know, old friends, just go through life, realize how special they are, and I know she touched all of us. I miss her a lot, but, you know, she had that smile, so we have to think about all the good things. So.
Well, I got $1.
So there's a letter.